Millionaire pretends to be guest. Then here's the cleaner's shocking phone call. He walked into that resort dressed like an ordinary solo traveler, holding a small backpack, worn sneakers, and a quiet face that tried not to draw attention. No one in that lobby knew the truth. No one recognized him without his usual security, driver, signature blazer, and watch. For a moment, it felt almost like he was invisible again. He hadn't felt that in years. But that morning, under the soft daylight pouring through floor-to-ceiling windows of the resort lounge, this millionaire had a mission. And he had no idea that in the next 10 minutes, a cleaner's shaking voice and desperate whisper on a phone call would unlock the deepest wound in his own heart and change his entire life. If you believe kindness stories and second chances matter, please like this video, comment down below, share, and subscribe to Touch of Kindness Stories. It keeps these stories alive. His name was Marcus Alderon, and most newspapers only ever referred to him as the Ghost Architect, because Marcus had built two of the most luxurious island resorts in the Indian Ocean. But no one ever saw him at ribbon cuttings or brand photo shoots or celebrity opening weekends. He always kept distance. The world saw his structures, not his soul. They saw his investments, not his humanity. Because truthfully, he didn't know how to show it anymore. Even wealth gets heavy when no one sees your heart behind it. Marcus was raised poor, painfully poor, and he still remembered nights where he slept curled under the table in his mother's one-room house in Lahore. At 13, he promised himself that if he ever got rich, he would never look down on the people who worked behind success. The unseen hands, cleaners, waiters, cooks, drivers, the silent engine of every place. So every few months, Marcus would secretly visit one of his resorts as a regular guest. No one knew he was the owner. He did this not to spy, but to reconnect with the human energy in the workplace, to breathe what real life felt like. The raw, unfiltered part of the world where titles didn't define a person's worth. That morning, the resort felt peaceful. Daytime light reflected on the calm pool. Distant ocean waves shimmered. Guests relaxed, drinking iced lemonade under umbrellas. But Marcus wasn't really there to relax. He wanted to feel the tiny things he usually missed, how staff smiled, how tired they looked, how the air of real life existed. He checked into a normal room. No luxury suite. No welcome fruit basket with his name engraved. He wanted to be nobody. After putting his small bag down, he walked to the edge of the open rooftop walkway near the service elevator. That's when he heard footsteps. A cleaner, wearing a faded uniform, pushing a cleaning trolley, slightly limping. Her hair was tied strangely uneven, like she had rushed from somewhere. Her name tag read Nerissa. She paused, took a step back against the wall, pulled out her phone, and her hand trembled visibly. Marcus wasn't trying to listen, but some moments forced themselves into your ears. Her voice was so broken, so raw, that even if he walked away, he would have heard every syllable in his heart. Her voice cracked. "Doctor, please, just one more day. I will bring the money. I swear. He's only 5. Please, don't remove the oxygen today." Her knees gave way. She leaned against the trolley to support herself. Marcus froze. That sentence, "he's only 5, stabbed through him. Because Marcus once had a little brother who died because his mother didn't have money for oxygen either. No one had helped them. Marcus had never forgiven the world for that. And now, this was not just coincidence. This was a ghost of his past staring him in the face in broad daylight. Nerissa whispered again, "Please, doctor, don't disconnect him. Please, I am trying." Then she cried silently, covering her eyes so no guest would hear. She didn't even know anyone was nearby. She quickly wiped her eyes, pressed the phone to her cheek, and said with the last broken breath, "I'm coming to the hospital after my shift. Just don't remove the oxygen yet." Marcus didn't speak. He didn't reveal himself. He walked back to his room and sat at the edge of the bed, shaking. That one phone call knocked him back into a memory he thought he buried. Marcus remembered being 11, holding his baby brother's hand, watching him suffocate in a small free clinic because the oxygen cylinder could not be turned on unless a deposit was paid. The nurse kept repeating, "We can't activate it. Rules are rules." Marcus remembered his mom screaming. He remembered helplessness burning into his bones. He remembered thinking, "When I grow up, I will become so rich that no child will suffer like this because of money." Yet here he was, rich, yet disconnected. He had power. But power wasn't enough if the right people didn't receive it. Marcus took a long breath. Fate hadn't just put him in the same corridor as that cleaner. Fate threw that story in his chest because he had a chance to do what no one did for him. He went downstairs to the front desk. He still stayed anonymous. He didn't say who he was, but he told the manager, "Book that cleaner, Nerissa, off shift immediately. Tell her she must go home. Tell her someone else will cover the rooms she was assigned today." The manager looked confused but obeyed, thinking Marcus was probably some rich guest who liked helping employees randomly. They told Nerissa to go home due to guest request, but she refused. She begged to stay, saying she needed today's wages. She needed every minute of employment. They forced her to take a break. Marcus followed her outside, from a distance, until she reached the bus stop. He discreetly opened his phone, called the hospital she mentioned, found the child's name through basic inquiries, and paid for everything. Oxygen. ICU. Tests. Future care. He left no trace of his identity. The hospital told Nerissa when she arrived that a stranger had already cleared the entire bill. She collapsed onto her knees in shock. Marcus watched from across the lobby window. He saw her cry with relief into her hands. But he still didn't tell her it was him, because it was never about credit. That it was about healing the boy that reminded him of his brother. His pain had lived too long inside him. Now, at least, he saved another child from the fate that destroyed his childhood. The next morning, Nerissa returned to work, smiling. Her face looked like someone who had been pulled from the edge of a cliff. She walked lighter. She cleaned with a different energy. She didn't even know who helped her. But she walked like she believed in miracles again. And that faith alone changed the air around her. Marcus could have left quietly. He planned to. Anonymous kindness was his routine. But before he checked out, something inside him whispered, she deserves words. She deserves to know humans still exist. He changed clothes. Not too expensive attire, but simple white shirt and trousers. He approached her in a quiet hallway. He didn't reveal his wealth. He simply said, you're stronger than you think. And your boy isn't alone anymore. She looked at him, confused, but she felt something. She sensed he knew something. Tears filled her eyes again, but this time they weren't desperate. They were gentle. He didn't say more. He didn't need to. Marcus walked out of that resort lobby into the bright daylight with a heart that felt lighter than any success he had in years. He realized that wealth does not change the world unless it changes pain. Until it lifts someone's burden. Until it fills the cracks of life where hopes begin to die quietly. That day, a millionaire pretended to be a guest, but he discovered a truth he had forgotten. Sometimes we don't help to be seen. We help to stay human. And somewhere in a small ICU room, a 5-year-old boy was breathing. Because one stranger heard a silent cry. If this story touched your heart, please subscribe to Touch of Kindness Stories. Like this video, share it forward so someone else can feel this too. These stories live because of your support. Special request. Comment below the word hope if you believe one act of kindness can ripple into someone's entire future.